Would you say the Overton window is shifting to the right a little bit because one of the big fucking social media companies has been bought out by this guy?
Sure, but one of the big points of him buying it out was we were going to finally figure out where the corruption laid with the Hunter Biden and everything. And it seems like all the stuff that got released, there was no corruption. Everything functioned as it probably should have.
Okay,
Any major decisions.
Let's get into that. So why would basically this story, which is of political relevance during the fucking election cycle, be deemed misinformation or hacked materials?
It was deemed hacked materials because there were pictures of Hunter Biden's cock posted.
There
was no government request to censor the Hunter Biden original story. There were a few requests that were put in to delete specific tweets, not about the Hunter Biden story. It was just pictures of Hunter Biden's cock.
So why did they fucking slow down? Like, it was either NY Post or fucking New York Times or whoever the fuck it was who had a story, and they literally like removed it, and then they put in fucking qualifiers for it, and they fucking algorithmically fucking slowed it down.
Because the NY Post one that came out, there was a lot of internal contention over whether or not it counted as hacked materials. That's what the internal debate was over. They didn't know if it was authentic.
No government official had any opinion about it at all.
Can somebody link the exact tweet where, is it Barry Weiss, or whoever the fuck literally says there was no evidence of government? Somebody just link me the exact tweet.
That was Matt Taibbi in the first one.
Yeah, can somebody just link me that exact tweet? Although several sources recalled hearing about a quote-unquote general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. In fact, that might have been the problem, ... So there was no evidence of any government intrusion relating to the Hunter Biden laptop story. And this is from the guy writing the tweets about the leak. Okay, historically, right, we're having huge problems with people trusting anything, okay? One of the big claims that conservative propaganda, bullshit, dipshit people are making is that the government is literally going into the social medias and censoring conservatives. You've parroted this line. You tried to defend it 2 days ago. That conservatives are stepping in and censoring particular stories. Or I'm sorry, that liberals are coming in and censoring particular stories. That conservatives are being suppressed and oppressed across all social media. And now Elon Musk has bought fucking Twitter, and he's done everything. Every fucking thing he has done is what he accused liberals of. He got on in fucking day one. He's tweeting absolute fucking lies about Pelosi having a gay lover breaking into his house. Absolute verifiable fucking lies. As the $44 billion owner of one of the most important social media institutions in the United States, zero conservatives call him out on it. Maybe you did. I hope you did. But I would see zero conservatives call him out on that. And he is engaged in misinformation after misinformation. And then as part of him owning Twitter, now he's leaking the Twitter files to finally show us that all of the government corruption and intrusion into social media that we all feared was there was actually there. But upon inspection, none of it is there. Not only is none of it there, the leaks actually show that Twitter was acting better than I actually ever thought they were. They were having fierce internal discourse over how they should handle some incredibly complicated stories, and it seems like they did about the best they could. And I applaud them for that. And it seems like there was no government intrusion in a story where I honestly thought that a lot of government intrusion would have been attempted to happen. So props to them for that. But instead, that's not the headlines that are being propagated. Instead, the headlines that are coming out are historic Twitter leaks that are showing all the bad information, all the bad memories, blah, 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 blah. So it's just a continual downplay, a continual misinformation that everybody seems to be partaking in, and I don't appreciate that. It's triggering the fuck out of me. And then when you come on and defend it, you have no facts to back it up. I feel like I'm talking to Elon Musk, where he's making shit up. Nothing is true, and I'm just supposed to pretend that like, oh, it's just a conversation. That triggers the fuck out of me, okay? Sorry.
Okay, so during the election, do you think that the son of a president, somebody seeking the office of the highest land in the state, you can say that Trump's a bigger piece of shit. But do you think that Hunter, being a piece of shit, potentially selling influence, selling off his fucking name, doing drugs and banging whores, do you think that's like something that people probably should know about in a regular election cycle?
If it's true, yes.
Okay. So, well, I'm pretty sure we know it's true at this point, right?
That's
we know it's true.
Problem. At this point, we do. But you have to admit that at the time, it looked fake as fuck. Do you admit that, or are you?
Why? Okay, so for instance, if I see a young man who looks like Hunter Biden hanging out with fucking prostitutes with drugs on the fucking table and all that kind of shit, and I can do digital forensics that show that it's not a Photoshop, why would I believe that that wasn't true?
No, the question is the story about how it leaked. Does it sound likely that Hunter fucking Biden left his laptop at a random store and like Giuliani got his hands on it to like publish material? Does that sound like a real story to you? Like in
I mean,
retrospect,
I've known some pretty shitty crackheads, but that could be a personal thing.
In retrospect, that is what happened. But at the time, that sounds like an exceptional story. Like, holy fuck, I didn't believe it was real.
So are you saying that the FBI and DHS reps who said, hey, some misinfo is about to come out, they thought it was bullshit?
I don't know if internal conversation on the FBI has leaked in terms of what they thought about it.
Okay. So basically, do you think that it's a little fucked up to have the institutions basically intervene on behalf of one of the fucking presidents? For me, if they did know that it was legitimate and they asked for the story to be slowed down, that would be an abuse of their power.
It would be, but there are two things. One, they didn't do that because there was no government intrusion. And two, it was Trump's FBI.
Okay. Read me the Matt Taibbi quote again.
Matt Taibbi's quote was, although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story.
Okay, so for me, although general involvement fucking blah, 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 that's exactly what you would do as a fucking government official if you wanted to have some level of plausible deniability.
Oh
hey,
my God.
This thing's coming up.
You win.
Why?
Okay,
Hold on. Tell me why that's crazy. Tell me why that's crazy.
You win. Because now you're going to tell me that it was all like a secret cover-up and they lied and they were directly involved. I can't win against that argument. You win. You have the conspiracy argument. You
No, I haven't.
Yep.
No, I haven't said any of that.
You got it.
No, I haven't said any of that. Why are you assuming that I'm saying any of that? It's actually pissing me off that you're fucking assuming that I'm saying that shit.
What you were saying directly contradicts the Twitter leaks. And now I'm just supposed to take your word for it because like,
how is it directly fucking contradictory to say that a general warning was issued a week or two before the fucking story leaked, probably because they had sources inside the Trump. Let me finish the fucking story because of fucking Zuckerberg.
Okay.
Zuckerberg saying that he talked about the fucking before the Hunter story dropped.
Is there a threat that the Hunter story's gonna drop, or was it just in general that there's like a lot of weird comms and shit going on the Russian side?
It was general, and he assumed.
Okay, so if it's general, is that even false? Do you think that statement is false by our intelligence, or do you think that's a true statement?
Yes, if the FBI liaisons and the fucking DHS liaisons knew that it was the Hunter story and they knew it was true, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, hold on, I'm sorry. I have to do a ton of, because I've got to put the conspiracy together that I see you're saying. You are alleging a conspiracy. So let me tell you the conspiracy you're alleging, okay? You're alleging that our intelligence knew about the Hunter Biden story. They knew in advance that it was going to leak. And so they preemptively went to the social media's companies and said like, hey, you guys need to do something because there might be some misinformation coming right, knowing that the Hunter Biden story was coming through the pipeline and that it was actually real, but they wanted to censor it. But you have no evidence for any of that.
Why would they have the correlated fucking timelines almost immediately? Why would the social media managers assume that's what they were supposed to do?
Well, first of all, I don't know about Zuckerberg's assumption because I haven't seen that yet. But Twitter, there's no indication that they're assuming that like the FBI gave them that order.
So they just took it on under their own volition in order to help out the Biden campaign. That basically they were gonna through their own volition, voluntary, of course. So voluntarily, they decided to slow down a fucking story.
Let's assume what reasonably could have happened. Let's say that story breaks and it goes viral on your social media platform, and Joe Biden loses the election by 1 or 2 points, and then it comes out that the story was actually completely fake. How do you feel now?
I don't know. Is like liberalism and the free flow of information and freedom of speech only like active when it's convenient? Like, is that the only time that we give a shit about it?
I'm trying to ask you to pull Trump's dick out of your fucking ear and think for 1 fucking second, because that was what they saw in front of them. That it was possible that an election, a major presidential election, could be massively influenced.
It's actually embarrassing. You don't know shit about me.
Okay,
like I'm not a fucking MAGA supporter. I'm not a Trump supporter.
I don't know how you can't fathom this unbelievably fucking obvious point then. The worry that they had was that...
You think I don't understand the rational self-interest? Do you think that I'm that stupid? Because it's actually kind of insulting.
It seems to be because you seem to think that the only possible explanation for their activity is some secret FBI intrusion when there's a really obvious story.
I think there's perfectly reasonable, rational motivations for everybody involved.
Well, I see all of the evidence has been laid out, including the Twitter leaks, and they support every single part of my story 100%, and you have zero evidence for yours. So if you have nothing compelling to tell me, all you're doing is spinning conspiracy
Zero
tales
evidence.
further.
You know that I've conducted investigations.